Welcome to Shape the Podcast. It's a podcast all about maintaining mental health by sharing stories from those who have overcome negative experiences and feelings, and then turned them into something positive. Meet your host.
Oh, hey, what's up? What's going on, everybody?
What's going on, Kyle?
Yeah, living the dream, I guess. I should just point out real quick about our intro. We need to change it again.
Kyle, your microphone is picking up your speakers.
All right, hold on a moment. Is it picking my speaker up now? Still? All right. Well, guess what? I'm going to do without the microphone. Hold on. Here we go. All right. Now can you hear me? Good? No?
Now we got it.
There you go. Yeah. I don't know. I got my fan going and the microphone, so you know how it is sometimes. But yeah, we should do something about that intro, sir.
No, we have some bad feedback coming, Kyle.
I don't know. It's not me. Are you using your headphones? Your earphones?
Yeah. Just my earbuds. Everything else is shut off.
Huh. I don't know. I couldn't tell you because on my end it sounds good.
Huh. I'm hearing it.
You're it's got a mind of its own. What can I say?
I don't know if everybody else heard it, but I heard it in echo, like 2 seconds on delay.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
We're good now.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody, but welcome to the fuck up.
Oh, and welcome to the podcast. Yeah.
And welcome to the podcast.
Yeah. Speaking of the
podcast itself has mental health problems.
Yes. And speaking of the podcast, sir, that intro, we need to redo it, I guess, because you don't have the full beard anymore, right? Yeah, you're totally different now. I mean, who knows? Maybe one day we'll get a new intro. Maybe one day we'll get an outro. That way, you don't have to look at our beautiful faces at the end. You could just look at another video playing or something cool.
Well, maybe people want to look at our beautiful faces at the end.
I mean, that might be true.
I doubt it, but maybe.
I mean, well, the beautiful thing is that if you're on Apple Podcasts, which everybody should go subscribe to, you can't see our beautiful faces anyway. So
yes, yeah. That's the best place for two people like us to have a podcast.
Yes, when two ugly guys can make a podcast sound good on Apple Podcasts, then that's the way it works, right? So,
well, like you said, because they don't have to look at us.
Yeah, and yeah. It's pretty awesome to listen to it. Like I've listened to it. Have you listened to any of the show on Apple Podcasts yet?
I have not listened to it on Apple Podcast. I mean, I hear it live, so.
Well, all right. So I go back and I listen to every single one of the podcasts. I either watch it or I'll listen to it on Apple just to pick up things. Like, I don't know. I critique myself a lot, and so yeah, it's just a way for me to like pick up different things and be able to improve on stuff.
Oh yeah, I get that.
But yeah, so other than that, how are things, man? Work's going crazy, I'm assuming.
It's hectic. Have a few little beginning of the season issues to deal with, but yeah, man, we're cranking right along, and it went from nothing to full summer in like 2 weeks. So,
yeah, that's how it is.
We're busy as hell.
That's where I work at, being as I work for Call Before You Dig 811, I locate utilities. It's coming upon dig season, right?
Yep.
So contractors are calling in tickets left and right to get them located. And
I'm sure.
Even though, we have the guys, we don't have the guys. It's it seems like help is never ending. And so like certain areas, certain spots around the city are getting hit harder than others, but you can't take a guy out of one area and put him in this area because
Right.
then his area will get backed up. So
Sure.
it's a game of cat and mouse, cat and mouse, like a dog chasing his tail. That's what it feels like. But
Yeah.
look at that, Mr. James Maurer. What's up, sir? How are you? Welcome to the show again, sir. Nice to see you. Hope things are going well with you, James. But yeah, man, that's it. Pertaining work wise, it's just normal thing.
Yeah.
We got Easter coming up this weekend, so
early this year, man.
yeah. So for those of you who celebrate that, hope you have a great time with your family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
It really it's all about presents, not Easter presents, but presents. So and enjoy that time with your families. But yeah, man, tonight, man, we got a good guest. His name is Erick Boulter. I found him on Facebook. I don't know exactly how I found him. Probably a Facebook group or something like that. And then I discovered that he has a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I started listening to his podcast because it is somewhat mental health based as well. And so I'm like, hey, we should have you on, and we'll hear your story, and then he can talk about his podcast. But he is in the car right now, going to pick up his son from work. That's why we're stalling a little bit because even though he has kids, sometimes kids don't need to be on camera, things of that nature. You know how people can be. And yeah, it looks like he is probably at his house going to the studio because I just saw him exit it off real quick. But he'll be back. But
so it's interesting that we're going to have a podcaster on our podcast, which is pretty cool because he has more followers than we have. So
yes,
that makes me feel like, holy crap, we've made it to his level.
And I'll be making an appearance on his podcast soon. See, he has a lovely person that helps him with bookings. Okay, we don't have that.
We have each other.
Yes, and sometimes I forget who I booked on certain days, and so Jason will be like, "Hey, is this the person that we booked?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's the guy or that's the girl." So, I mean, I'm not saying, but I'll give you a crisp high five and a hug if you want to help me and Jason book guests on the podcast. Right? It's not easy. People, you would think that it would be an easy thing and that people would be lining up the door to talk about their feelings. But it is not.
But it's a hard thing to talk about your feelings, and a lot of people are intimidated by it.
I mean, I think people are intimidated by you, really.
Well, I mean, look at me. I'm gorgeous. What do you expect?
Or maybe it's me. I don't know. Maybe they're intimidated by these lovely baby hands I'm holding up.
You do have very small hands. Very
I do,
dainty. What's the term? Petite hands.
Yes. Yeah. And everybody, just wedding ring update. I still have it. All right. I still have the fourth one. Okay. It's there. All right. Just everybody should know that. I haven't lost it. Okay. So a lot of people probably don't know that story, but yeah. I've lost 2 wedding rings so far, and one is broken. And now I'm on my 4th one. And that's the 4th one in almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in October. So,
well, in my, oh my God, many years of being married, I don't wear one, so I don't lose it.
Yes. I thought about that. I thought about getting it tattooed, but I'm like, no, it's better to have one, I guess.
Well, we're going to get it tattooed. We just haven't gotten around to it. We always both want something else that's bigger, or I don't want to say has more meaning, because what has more meaning than a wedding ring tattoo?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
We always have something in our mind that's bigger, and she's going and I'm going and we're always going, but we haven't found that time to go together and get our wedding ring tattoos done yet. But it is on the agenda. We just
Well, maybe one of these days when she goes to have her back worked on or this or that, you be like, hey, honey, I'm gonna tag along because guess what? Today's gonna be that day that we get our wedding rings tattooed on us. So there is that. What's up, Mr. Jeff Harmon? How are you, sir?
Hey, Jeff.
Thanks for popping in. Hope you've been okay, young man. Hope retirement has been okay because Jeff is retired, so it's gotta be nice. I don't know what that is.
It's called fishing. Retirement for me would be called fishing.
But you're not even retired.
No, but I could be. I identify as wanting to be retired.
Yes. I also identify as wanting to be retired. Okay. I every morning I wake up, and I'm sure a lot of people do. If you have a job,
that's a good start.
And I wake up and I'm like, is today the day that I retire? And then I look around and I see, there's electric that's got to be paid. There's food that has to be bought. There's a car payment that has to be paid. I'm like, yeah, I can't retire yet. Oh,
well, I set a date. I set a date of 2035.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, what's that? 8 years from now?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's my mental deadline.
Well, I'm gonna one up you. I'm gonna do.
If I make it that long.
I'm gonna do 2034. Okay.
Oh, you gotta show me up, huh? Gotta one up.
Well, hold on a minute. Jeff said he just had a federal job offer from the Federal Park Service.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, as a ranger, because I can see you being a ranger, sir. Ranger Jeff.
Yeah. Doc worked a summer in Connecticut as a park ranger.
All right. I can see that as well.
Yep. Maybe, I don't know, 3 summers ago, I think. He had a blast doing it. It was just a little part-time gig in the summer, seasonal job. He had a blast doing it.
I mean, well, you know how things are now. The National Park Services got rid of pretty much all their rangers, and now it's like, now you got the TSA working for free. I don't know. I don't. Hey, I'm not that man, and I'm glad I'm not. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of craziness going on, but I think Erick is back home and in his office. So how about we bring him on?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Oh, hey.
Let me get him unmuted.
I was gonna say he's muted right now.
He's got to unmute himself.
Oh, he's got 2 different cameras going on. There's camera number 1 and camera number 2 and camera number. All right, I like this.
There we go,
sir. What one must be your cell phone? Is that correct?
The cell phone is now off.
All right.
We are live on the computer. You guys can hear me okay? Yes?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Excellent.
So welcome to Gumball Head Studios.
Yeah, so let's speak of that, before we get into your story. So you have your own podcast.
We do have a podcast.
I like who's this we person?
We is myself, and I too have a co-host.
All right, cool.
With a majestic beard, mind you. I'm going to bring this screen down so it doesn't look like. See, up there I've got a huge TV screen, and down here I've got a laptop.
All right, on. Well, see, I just have my iPad, and Jason just has this computer screen. We're not cool like you yet. We don't have all that technical.
Oh. So I've got a podcast called Normal Isn't Necessary Podcast.
All right.
And it was founded a few years ago when I decided that it was time for men to step up and start talking about their feelings. And I heard you guys saying something about that a little while ago during the intro, and it was an opportunity for people to kind of come together and converse without actually being on camera. Now there's 3 men with faces made for radio, TV here, or made for radio. But it was just an opportunity for us to create a community of it started off as men communicating and talking about things that we go through in our lives, and then as we progressed, we started incorporating more and more people,
right.
more and more opportunities, and we started off as a public safety based program, and now we incorporate whoever. We've got military, we've got public safety, we've got equine therapy, we've got all kinds of people. So it was more of a society than anything else, a grassroots society or grassroots community that we started to create. So,
Nice.
and as that grew, I kind of took on the concept of doing the podcast so that we could get more information out there worldwide. And now we're 55,000 strong. So,
Well, those 55,000 that you have, lead them our way. We would like that. Okay.
it's collective. It's collective.
And really, in our realm, it's really about one person hearing the message. Okay. So I try not to worry about the overall number, because all it takes is one person making that positive change.
That's it.
So that's really what it's all about. So, man, you've introduced yourself as your podcast, but let's talk about Erick. Let's get down and dirty, the nitty gritty. Let's you sent me some of your synopsis, and I read it, and very similar stories, except for I've been married once, and as long as I live, unless she kills me, I'm gonna be married once. But
only once, huh?
yeah, man, it's it took me 40 something. Let's see, 41 years to find her. So yeah, trust me, the old Kyle would have never been able to last through a marriage. Okay, I was very narcissistic, but I also dealt with a lot of inner stuff, like we all deal with. Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to ever be married. Yeah, but anyways, man, let's talk about you. Enough about me. Let's talk about Erick. So, tell us how your story began, and then where the everything just went downward spiral.
Well, I usually come out pretty hot by saying, I grew up in a farm town.
All right.
It was just a normal everyday, small town, and but our town, there was a lot of alcohol, a lot of cannabis consumed, and was kind of a kid, child as a result of that. I'll start right out of the chute with the beginning of life. I didn't start off life, like most kids do. I mean, I got my ass kicked, and my youth was spent being sexually abused, which kind of sent that connotation as I got older into my teenage years. But being around like drugs and alcohol, or cannabis and alcohol, not necessarily drugs at that point, kind of set the tone for everybody in that community. Most of the kids in that community were parts of that. It was a paper mill town. And a couple of weeks ago, we did a podcast with somebody that's actually investigating the Superfund site that this paper mill produced, which was a completely different podcast than what today is. But I spent, my youth and a lot of my teenage years drinking and smoking and partying. And, I grew up very quick, 13 years old. I was out there chasing girls. I like to say that it was a punk rock lifestyle, but looking back, man, I grew up in a really terrible time, and it wasn't until I was in my mid 30s to where I could actually talk about these things. I'd been to therapists, I'd been to counselors, and that and everything, and it was really ironic. The person that really broke me out of my shell was my paramedic partner on the ambulance, where you really get to know somebody and you spend a lot of time with them. That's not that at the end of the day you can punch out, go home, and forget about everything that you had.
Yeah, because that's you take a lot of that home with you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Especially when you're doing that line of work.
And then you share that burden with another person. And so when you're sitting there in silence, at 3:00 in the morning waiting for a call to come in, you can go out in the parking lot and play hacky sack, or you can sit there and talk about, you know, who you were until you became who you are, you know.
Yeah. You just did it yourself, by the way, by talking about hacky sack.
Hey, you know what? You're younger
kids-
than me. I'll just say that much.
The kids these days don't know anything about hacky sacks.
No, they don't know the statement "touch grass" either. You know,
Nope.
it's touch the keyboard. It's touch the controller. So, but you know, it's really crazy because I was never like a vulnerable person, but I was always very empathetic in my youth. And I had struggled with alcohol until I was about 19 years old, and found out, you know, alcohol and pills. I love pills, man. I mean, they were especially better when you had alcohol involved. You know, so but a lot of that was just kind of the upbringing where there's a lot of neglect, a lot of you know, boys don't cry, men don't cry. You know, be a man. And as I like went through youth, I think I messaged you, Kyle, the other day and said that I was pretty good when I had a girlfriend at the time, but when I didn't, it was party on, you know.
Yeah.
It was 5 o'clock on Friday, you know, unless we had a football game. But after the football game, you wouldn't find me sober till Monday morning at school, you know.
So was it more of a masking, like, you know, you're talking about drinking at an early age? Was you were masking what was going on, you know, because of the abuse, things of that nature?
Yeah, I mean, I was sexually abused by a family member until I was about 11 years old.
And was it ever like brought to the authorities or anything like that, or was it just brushed under the rug? Yeah.
Yep. And when it was brought up to the family's like, "There's no way that he would ever do that." So I was like, "Okay, cool." It just kind of and back in those days, I mean, your parents whipped you with whatever they get their hands on too. So things were much different back then.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, until I was in my 30s, nobody really even took it seriously. I don't even think I did, you know. But a lot of that was covered up by the alcohol and you know, doing what I could do to just kind of block all that stuff out. Now I look back and I read some of my journals from back then. You know, I journaled all the time. It's like, man, you know, these journals really help me out when it comes to other people too, when we sit down and talk. And we do one-on-one sessions. We do the Guys Can Cry conference every year, where we get together a handful of guys. They come out. We provide libations and food for a couple of day retreat, and it's to be expected that guys come out here and they you know, they let it out, and then you go home back to being a man, you know. So I got married really, really young. I think I was 20 years old when I got married the first time. That's why I it was just once. I mean, I'm on number 4. So, but you know, the truth has it, you know, I was really good when I was married. We had our first 2 children together, and she had decided one day that, hey, I never had any fun. I never got to go out and do my thing as you know, a girl. So I was like, well, I don't want to be the burden of your happiness, so go have fun. Let me know when you're done. We'll figure things out.
Yeah.
Turned out she wanted to get a divorce, and we were like 24 years old at the time. So I'm not going to tell you how long ago that was because I'll date myself again. But we were still pretty young and fine. You know, let's get a divorce. I had already started a relationship with someone else, so we made it happen. And ironically enough, my first was really good friends with my current wife, just because of the kids, you know. And I got lucky there, you know. I mean, that doesn't happen in community.
Yeah.
Not anymore. But there were a couple of years there where I played the single dad role, or I had, you know, somebody helping me take care of my kids. So I worked for myself, and that was where the whole "my boss is an asshole and I work too much" came from. But I would leave for work at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'd be home at 9 o'clock at night. So someone was taking care of my kids during the day. And you know, sometimes we'd leave the job site at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and go to the bar, you know, or go to the strip club. whatever it was, because somebody had my kids taken care of. So I was pretty irresponsible.
Yeah.
But again, that was another opportunity in my life to mask that happiness that didn't exist by hanging out with like-minded people. So I'll just kind of accelerate things. I know this is only an hour long. I can sit here and talk for hours and hours. That's why I started a podcast. But kind of getting into my later years, my third wife and I were out. We were out losing weight. We were doing a couch to 10K thing.
All right.
We were walking one day, and she said, "Hey, I just want to know, what did you want to do when you grew up? When you were younger?" I said, "I always wanted to be a firefighter." And she said, "Well, why aren't you a firefighter then?" I was like, "Well, I'm too old and I'm fat." And she's like, "Get in shape and do it." Took a year, got in shape, went through the fire academy, went through police academy, got a couple of degrees, and then I ended up on an ambulance. And for those 6 or 7 years, stone cold sober, no drugs, no alcohol, gave up tobacco, gave up chasing girls until I got a badge, and started seeing trauma and public safety frontline. Really kind of pulled that all, back into my life, where I was like, oh, I think I can handle all this. Reality said that I couldn't. Started drinking again. Started doing things that were way cooler than what I had in high school, because I had connections at the hospitals. Made friends with nurses and got whatever I wanted from them, as far as consumables went. And so life took another turn and resulted in another divorce.
So you had what you thought was your purpose, right?
Yeah.
And then you lost your purpose, and I get it, man. I mean, I could never work in that field. You know what I'm saying? But simply because of the shit that you saw on a daily basis, that would, if I were a sober man doing that line of work, unless I had a strong group around me, I think I would end up drinking again or drugging again, So
yeah,
because it takes a very strong-willed person to be a paramedic, or to even be a firefighter or a police officer. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that was kind of the decline of my mental health too. Was I was mentally strong. Sorry, I had a car seat in the background. Didn't realize.
Are you good?
I'm never on camera, man. My podcast is, we don't have cameras. But no, I think a lot of that mental decline came from the ego that came with being in those roles too. So there was a lot of ego. My paramedic partner that I really opened up to, he always had airplane bottles rolling around in his backpack. So
yeah.
that was just the community that you belonged to. We'd sit at the firehouse and drink beer while we were talking about the fire that we just fought, or it's just, there were so many different things, and you don't realize what's going on until you get away from it. You don't realize where your brain is inside those things. And St. Patrick's Day 2017, that's that tattoo right there. That was I got arrested for drunk driving, and I was doing really well for myself. I had just gotten my paramedic license. I was working for a city fire department. I had just gotten married again. Working as a medical examiner, as coroner in the field, and had a decent income happening. And tied one on a little bit too much St. Patrick's Day morning, and got pinched for drunk driving. That night, while I was in jail, March 17, 2017, was the night that we founded Gumball. It's the night that the whole organization started. And that was the Gumball Head Sobriety Society is what we started off with. That was the Gumball Head Mental Health Network. And it's just the idea behind it was offering resources to public safety, police officers, doctors, lawyers, people that you won't see at your typical AA or NA meeting. And we started creating a community for them. As a part of my probation, I had to go to AA meetings consistently. I think I was required to go to 3 per week.
All right.
So, just a little side note. When I got arrested for drunk driving, I was 14 times the legal limit. So I blew a .146 in Michigan, and so it was almost 15 times. I had a firearm in the car that was loaded. I was a concealed carry permit holder.
So
But
you were looking at felony charges in.
I was looking at about 7 of them. Yeah. So the firearm itself was 3 felonies. And then I had my CDL license as well with hazmats and doubles. So anybody out there that's a truck driver, you know that you can't have anything on your breath while you're driving anyways.
Yeah.
So everything compounded. And I was in huge trouble. I got 6 months probation. I had to go to 3 meetings a week. I had to go to a total of 30 meetings over the course of those 6 months.
All right.
I got a slap on the wrist is what I got.
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously somebody was watching out for you, man. You know,
Well,
to only get 6 months probation.
That was the big thing for me, though, was the fact that they knew I was public safety coming in to the courtroom. You know, they knew that I was one of them.
Yeah.
So the courts were just like, oh, well, it's your first time, blah, blah, blah. Anybody else, they would have spent at least a year in jail and gotten felony charges. And that was a moment that I realized that the community really didn't have a whole lot of resource out there for those people in those fields. I went to the news about it. I ended up being on the news as a result. And it wasn't on there saying, hey, you know, don't drink and drive. It was, hey, your community, your pillars of the community don't have these resources.
Yeah.
Now they have, I think the majority of the people in the public safety industry, at least in the county that I was in, they get 24 sessions a year of mental health. That no questions asked, just go. They offer up to 90 days of in-house care. Like you can go to a rehabilitation center for 90 days, no charge. Now they have substantiated debriefings after every mass casualty event. So I'm not saying that I had a whole lot to do with that, but it happened very shortly after I was on the news.
Yeah.
Where the community started finally getting some of their stuff, which gave me ammunition and fuel to kind of drive things a little bit more forward now. When COVID hit, my wife, my current wife now, my last wife, there's no way this will ever stop. She got really into TikTok. And she very quickly became a TikTok influencer. And I was above it. I was like, nah, that's garbage. It's crap. I don't want to be a part of it. And then she started sending me some silly stuff, and I couldn't watch it without having the app downloaded on my phone.
Yeah, you still can't. That's how it is now.
Yep. So I downloaded it and started watching stuff here and there, and you know, one of the craziest things is I do life coaching on the side, and I offer kind of an unorthodox life coaching. I focus a lot on recovery and addiction, and you can go to a meeting and you can go to a therapist for alcohol or drugs, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot of local communities or even online communities offer assistance or coaching. I can't say counseling or therapy because I'm not licensed, but I am certified. But there's not a lot of communities online aside from like the A groups where you can get assistance with these 3 categories. I specialize in technology addiction, gambling addictions, and pornography. So those are 3 of my fields where I really specialize in. So,
well, this can definitely be an addiction right here. Right?
It absolutely is.
And it's funny that you talk about that because I actually, about a couple months ago, we actually had a discussion about social media and mental health. You know, and people don't realize that. Yeah, I mean, this day and age, you have to have a cell phone to be able to live. You know.
Yeah.
And a lot you have to have internet service. You have to have be online, in order to live. Heck, you have to have internet service to now pretty much watch your TV,
Mhm.
But that's all fair, fine and dandy. But technology has also ruined America, because like you were saying, like kids touching grass, kids don't know how to touch grass because they're too busy stuck up technology,
But here's
like
the problem with it, Kyle.
yeah,
You just said it yourself. You said you have to have your phone, you have to have internet.
yeah,
Unfortunately, that's the societal expectation. The
yeah,
reality is you don't. You
true,
feel that you do because that's what every influence around you has made you believe.
yeah.
As
Well,
societal influence.
and
Yeah.
and not just that, but like how many places, doctors' offices, things of that nature, where you go to that they actually have a paper trail. I can name one. My wife just had to have some work done on her car. The mechanic we took it to, everything paper, no computers, nothing. I'm talking
Right.
like binders full of like receipts and stuff from clients like that. And I
Mhm.
told my wife, I said, that's where I want to take my car to get it worked on, because there was no computer. It was paper, like receipt paper. We've all become too technology. It's like we're so used to it.
Well, I think that technology has taken such a difficult hold on us. Um, it pulls us in directions that we don't really anticipate going as well.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
addictions, like you said, uh, pornography. I mean, yeah. But back in the day, that there used to be adult stores. Where you would go into those adult stores and you would do whatever. Well, now everything's online. You know.
yeah,
The
Yeah.
porn's with you 24/7.
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah. Everything's online. You can go to this, like it's like looking for a job now. There's no longer anything to do with, let's say, paper applications.
Mhm.
It's all online. You
yep.
know, like your human resources for companies aren't there at that. They might be, but you can't go to human resources and be like, "Yeah, I'm here to apply for this job." Because where do they send you? They send you back online again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's and that's really, I could go on about people with sexual, like SA, things of that nature. A lot of it stems from online. You know, um, that seems to be the thing now, and it's yeah, I could see where that causes a lot of harm, and it has, in a lot of people's lives. And like you said, you're a life coach for people who deal with gambling and pornography addiction, things of that nature. It it starts somewhere, but the fire that feeds it is what we're on right now.
Yep.
Technology. So
Well, and that desire comes from, I mean, the way a lot of people, their brains work is it stems from a concept, turns into a thought, then that thought turns into curiosity.
yep,
Curiosity creates need or desire, want.
yep,
That's where those chemicals start coming into our brains.
yeah,
And then we feed that by jumping online and starting to look into and investigate these things. That's why, some of the websites have been shut down in the past. That's why Reddit is so heavily monitored. 4chan used to be around. That was where a lot of that stuff happened. And if you think about our youth, if you don't have a Polaroid of it never happened. It never happened. Or if it's not in here, it never
yep.
happened.
And I tell you,
Um,
some of my best memories are from here, not online.
Yeah.
And not to go off subject, but I took a trip this past weekend. Me and my wife like to take little quick day trips. Like to go discover places that we've never been to.
Yeah.
And during that time, we stay off this,
Mhm.
right? Because we like to get to discover things ourselves. Yeah, we might take a picture of something, but we're not online, like right there. We're in each other's presence,
Yeah.
and so yeah, man. I like you said, back when we were kids, if you didn't have a Polaroid or you didn't have a camera where you took the film to be developed, you only had the memories in here,
Yep.
And man, life back then seemed so simple.
I can't stand going to a concert today because everybody is watching the show like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're paying attention to the recording that they're making, and they're
Yep.
not paying attention to the show that's right in front of their face.
Yeah.
They want to refer back to this later, but if you just paid attention, you'd have it all right here, and it'd be more meaningful because you actually got to see it. All they're really doing by sitting there recording it is watching it on a screen. They're not getting the experience that they paid for.
Yeah, you're missing the life that is going on around you because you're too busy about the life that's right here.
Right.
So,
but then in addition to that, I can carry that even further. The cell phone companies are like, yeah, take your camera to the concerts.
mm-hmm.
Then when you run out of memory, come see us, and we'll either back in the day, you could buy memory cards and upgrade the memory in your computer. But now, what do you got to do? Well, your memory's full, so you either have to delete, 37,000 photos, or you have to upload it to the cloud.
Yeah.
In order to keep the cloud, now you have to pay $4.99 a month in order to have access to your photos and your memories.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, what a consumer community and consumer world we live in now, all based on the initial concept of the home computer and turning into, convenience. So, and people don't think like that. Like yesterday, my wife and I took 4 of our kids to the park. We were there, and she had said something about, hey, can we take a picture? I said, no, I cannot. Oh, why not? My phone's at home charging. Oh, well, these are formative years. These are memories. Where's your phone? Oh, it's right here. Click. I took a picture with her phone, and then I started looking up ice cream when the kids got close to being done. But I sit at a computer 10 hours a day. And when I come home, people used to make fun of me when I tell them, they'd be like, oh, did you watch Saturday Night Live last night? Or did you see the new episode of 21 Jump Street or Hill Street Blues or whatever was on TV last night? And I'm like, no, I didn't. What do you mean you didn't? No, my dad and I, we were out hanging out in the woods, even now. It's like, hey, have you seen this movie series or this TV series? No. What do you mean? No, the only time my TV is ever on is if I'm at my computer looking at it, or if my PlayStation's on, I'm playing video games. Otherwise, TV's just TV. I'm so sick of Miss Rachel and Cocomelon. That's what's on all the time. And when I sit down to watch TV, I don't even know what I want to watch anymore. So I get stuck on documentaries. And then those even get walked away from. So. And I think that we have such a consumer-minded or consumption-minded lifestyle now that, we're kind of the last of the dying breed here, man. Us guys with beards and gray hair. The generations after us, even my wife, she's 9 years younger than me. She's right on that cusp there between technology runs my life, Like I said, she's a TikTok influencer. She's got what it takes to be on TikTok. I do not. I'm capable of running it. I'm capable of running a podcast, but all I got to do is hit record and turn my microphone on.
Yeah.
Some of those people out there, they've got like even your guys' intro. Your guys' intro is awesome. It's great. I was watching one of your episodes today while I was at work, and I was just kind of like, oh wow, you guys have an intro and everything, and these guys are on camera. And, that's the future. And it's kind of like, well, that's an awful lot of work, you were kind of joking around a little while ago. I don't know if it was Jay or Kyle, but you're saying, yeah, he's got somebody that sets up guests for him. I do all the work. I go on TikTok and I tell people, hey, check us out, check out our website, check out our podcast, this and that, and then reach out to my wife and she'll book you. You know, it works out pretty well that way because she's at home during the day.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
it does take the pain away when it comes to sitting down with
But
guests.
you know,
So
all that, and what we're talking about for you would not be possible had you not made the changes in your life. You know,
absolutely not.
and
No.
so how long has it been now since you touched alcohol or drugs?
I still I'm mature enough in my recovery where I don't say that I'm a full blown recovering addict when it comes to alcohol. I
All
still
right.
have beers every once in a while. I still consume. And if
Okay.
I have
All
a
right.
beer, it's a beer. You know, it's
Yeah.
not three or four, or in my case, I would buy a 6 pack and drink six because there was only four left.
All right.
You can't leave
But
on a
you're not letting it control your life to
no.
where and you know because the maturity that you've grown and I can speak of this because I went to AA, you know, and I did copious amounts of drugs back in my 20s, and I thought alcohol and drugs were my problem. What I found out was what was my problem, and this doesn't go for everybody, but what was my problem is that I was hanging around those people, right? So having a very addictive personality, you know, because I put myself in those situations, that's what my problems led to. But now today, I can have 100 and probably 120, 130 bottles of alcohol, less than 10 steps away from this office door. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's mind, it's your mindset, it's your mind frame. You know,
Yeah.
if we have to examine ourselves at some point in our lives and say, all right, I'm no longer the person I was then. You know, I'm married, I got kids. You know, you got people that depend on you. You know, we all have that certain point in our life where the old us goes away, you know, and the old you might want to come and play sometimes, you know, but it's it's good to have that mindset and that mind frame, you know, and but you can look back and be like, damn, the shit I went through in my life
Yep.
made me the person I am today,
Yep.
you know,
Well,
and
I think a purpose is what really drives us too.
yeah,
Is we spend a lot of time, especially like as men, especially as men, because we're very callous people. Our hearts are calloused. Our minds are calloused. We're here to provide, and we're here to forage for food, and we're here to do this and that and the other thing, and be the providers and be the strong ones, and we're not supposed to show emotion. And I think that once we not necessarily become in touch with our feminine side, so to speak, but be able to understand that, hey, we can feel too, we can understand too, and we can have that empathy and we can have that sympathy for people. But
uh,
it's not even having those things, it's just being able to identify with it, you know and once we find that purpose, like I tell everybody, my family is not my purpose. My family, my and to provide for my family is not my purpose.
yeah. I mean
My,
they're part of your purpose, though. That's the thing,
right.
you know.
My purpose is to be the very best version of who I can be so that I can
Yeah,
provide for that purpose, or
yeah,
provide that as a purpose. I still yell at my kids. I still call my wife names when I'm mad at her. I still flip her the bird when she makes me mad. But on the other side of things, I'm not that way 24/7 anymore.
yeah.
When I was under the influence all the time, I was that way all the time, and that was anytime I wasn't at work. Um, and you were asking how long has it been? 8 years, solid. Um,
All right.
and it was a tough 8 years, but my wife and my kids, the birth of our son 6 years ago was really like when it was like, all right, it wasn't a matter of it's time to grow up. It's just it was a matter of now I got a reason to do what I'm doing. You
Yeah,
know.
and really, you shouldn't even look at it in years. You should look at it, and I think a lot of people, especially people who have relapsed in their past, things of that nature, you know, is that they look at it in years, but they're not looking at it as in seconds or minutes or days, you know, because all we have is now, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, yesterday's gone, tomorrow's not here, right? So
Tomorrow's not promised either.
no,
No.
it's yeah, as they say, life is one day at a time, you know, and doing life one day at a time has saved my ass from dying.
Yep.
You know, has saved me a lot of headaches, even though I create a lot of headaches. You know, and that's what I think people forget is that you got to live life today. You know, you can't worry about the shit that went on in your past because your past is your past. But you don't want to forget it because once you forget your past, you're doomed to create the mistakes of your past. You know, and that's one thing I think is very hard for guys, right, to do. You know, and hey, I'm a guy, and just because I'm a guy, let me tell you this right now: I will cry watching a TV show. There's been moments on this podcast where I've cried because here's the thing: I'm not ashamed. You know. And I think a lot of guys carry that oh, I'm a man, you know, so I can't cry or I can't show my my softer side, you know, and I think a lot of guys should because it's healthy to cry, you know. I mean, nothing wrong with it, you know. There's nothing wrong with telling, you know, the way how you feel, you know. It's okay to do that, you know. And that's why this podcast is this podcast, because I created this as a way for people to come on and share the shit that's going on in their lives, you know, good or bad, you know. So it's okay to not be okay, but don't mask it. You know what I'm saying? It's masking your problems and hiding from your problems and hiding from the situations that you create. Is a terrible thing, you know. We have to confront life head on sometimes, and that's a hard thing for people to do, you know. So
I think I have a tattoo right here on my arm, and it doesn't show very well on camera. And you know, those people that are listening to the Apple podcast right now, it says right now it's like this. And my wife and I, our first big date as a couple, we had went away for a weekend at a cabin, and you know, it was kind of a romantic getaway. And she got her very first tattoo, and her tattoo was a lavender sprig on her forearm. And the only way that she was going to get a tattoo is if I got one too. And that tattoo says right now it's like this, which is very much to the degree of doesn't matter what happened yesterday, it doesn't matter what happened 10 minutes ago. What we have is what we're breathing right now, you know. And the growth that we have on a daily basis stems from our experience right this moment. You know, this is the first time I've been on this side of a podcast. It's pretty cool, you know, being the interviewed one. But you know, I did a podcast, The Road Rant, on my way to work this morning. If you haven't heard it yet, do it. Because I talked about this podcast too, the Shape podcast. And I said, you know, there are things that I have done in my past that I'm not happy about and I'm not proud of, but they definitely helped me grow into who I am, and they'll definitely shape me for who I'm becoming. And I'm not going to stop changing and being better until the day that I die. That doesn't mean I'm not going to make mistakes in the meantime. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to make my wife mad or, you know, or even upset my children, you know, or disappoint them in one way or another. But in order to do the things that we set out to do, we got to make those mistakes. We're never going to learn if we don't screw up. And I know people in recovery. I did the AA thing, and I love AA. That's where I got sober. I got sober, and then I did the Buddhist refuge recovery, and then I went back to AA. God became a huge part of my life because of AA and because of my wife and her family. My children have helped me substantially in that, and you know, waking up every day and realizing that today is another day sober, another day where, you know, my mistakes aren't going to be held against me because of something I'm putting in my body. You know, no longer am I going to live my life making excuses. I didn't have a problem with alcohol. I had a problem with reality, and that was a big thing.
I like that. So
alcohol just helped me deal with reality, you know, and didn't always work out to my to my advantage. So,
well, like you said, the crap that you went through, alcohol helped cover it up.
Yep.
And
Forget about it.
And in turn, alcohol created more problems.
Yep.
There are some people out there that will never ever drink because of that. And one of my good friends is that way. He'll never drink ever again because of the crap that it costs. But it's good. It's good to see like your perspective. And the things that you went through, and now you have kids. Like you have kids who see you as the protector and as a father, and it's all because of the changes that you made.
Yep.
And it's good to, and you're not focusing like you said. You wake up and you're like, all right, I made it to the day. I made it to the moment right now. So you haven't lost that focus, which I think is great.
Yeah. Well, I tell everybody too. I'm in my mid to late 40s. I got a Harley, but I also have painted toenails. So I'm not above it. I also have a lot of daughters.
Well, I am in my late 40s. I don't have a Harley. I want a motorcycle, but I think as long as my wife is breathing, she probably won't let me get one. Okay, but it's just.
I got mine before I got married, so I did that on purpose.
So I had one many years ago, and then I ended up selling it to somebody, and I should have kept it. Kept that bike, but because man, I would love a bike, but maybe a bike's not my purpose. But yeah, so. Man, I appreciate you. I thank you for coming on tonight, and sharing your story, and I hope that somebody who either watches this later or listens to it later gets some type of message out of it,
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's what this podcast is all about. It's all about sharing hope and positive energy. We're maintaining mental health one story at a time, and that's what it takes. And you're that positive spark of energy that you need in your life and that you need in other people's lives. So thank you,
Thank you.
But we appreciate it, man. We're going to wrap up the show, but thank you very much for coming on tonight. And I'm going to let you enjoy our green room, and we'll be after the show with you, okay?
Thank you so much,
guys.
Eric.
All right, well, sir, that is it. That's the show for the night. I hope it was a great one. I liked it. I think it's awesome. Everybody should go check out Erick's podcast. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have YouTube, I know it is on YouTube. His road rants are great. Like they are off the cuff. He's in his car talking about life, and sometimes he's taking a road trip somewhere, and sometimes he's just driving around. So we appreciate you. I appreciate you, Jason. I appreciate you for being here every other Wednesday night. I'm glad that you.
I'm the pretty face in the corner.
Yeah. And I'm just me. But yeah, 2 weeks. 2 weeks went by fast, and the next one will be in 2 weeks.
Those 2 weeks do go by very quick sometimes.
They do, yeah. And it's life. Life is crazy. Yeah.
Just disappearing in front of our eyes.
But we would appreciate it. Like we said earlier, go to Apple Podcasts. Look up Shape the Podcast on Apple. Give us a like. Leave us a review on there. We would like that. We would appreciate that. Of course, YouTube, which is where Jeff Harmon was watching tonight. Shape the Podcast for you on YouTube. You can give us a subscribe over there, and of course
and our Facebook page.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
and the Facebook group. We
yes.
often underutilize or underdiscuss the Facebook group.
Yes,
that's the perfect complementary platform where anybody can discuss anything that they saw in any of the episodes there with the group. So check it all out. Invite your friends. Tell your friends. We're always looking for guests. So if you guys out there have something that you would like to talk about or know somebody else who might as well, send them our way.
Yes, because we definitely need and it's really, you talk about guests. This is the first time where we haven't had a scrounge for a guest because I've actually had guests lined up. So that's always helped a whole lot. So, but yeah, we appreciate y'all. Yeah, we got them lined up for sure. But everybody,
Till
have
June
a great.
at this point, I think.
Yeah, yep.
Yep.
June will be all the way to June. So yeah.
Yep.
So everybody, have a great night. We'll see you in 2 weeks, and do something positive for somebody.